Hi, it's Brandy. I thought it would be a great time to give you some somatic tools to help with calming and support at this time. And so what the idea is to try to build your toolkit. So there are going to be some of these ideas that are great, some of them that are kind of and then some of them that you just want to throw out. And so, but the idea is to keep experimenting until you find things that work great for you. So the first thing is to find a weighted object. So most of my weighted objects are still at the office, like my famous weighted blanket. So if you're lucky enough to have one of those, some people really love them, just to feel that pressure, which contacts the proprioceptive system and kind of feels good. So if you don't have that, you might have smaller versions of things like the famous one that goes around your neck and can be heated. This is a great eye pillow that has a certain amount of weight to it that can just give you a little pressure if you're lying back. If it can be heated, that's great. And if you don't have that, chances are nowadays you might have gotten some sort of bean or rice. And if your bag of said item is already open, you can put it into let's say a plastic bag that lets it move around, because if it's too bound up, it just doesn't quite feel as good as if it can spread out. And so here's a couple things. Like sometimes when people try this in the office, they'll put it somewhere that they think is going to feel good. So they say, you know what, this shoulder is always tight. Let me put it here. And some of them go, oh yeah, that's exactly the spot. And they hold it there. And they take a moment and feel what changes. So we'll go with that scenario first. Let's say I'm going to put it right here. I feel the nice pressure. This actually feels a little cooling, which is probably going to feel good as it gets warmer outside. And then I just notice, see if my body says yay or nay. That's what we're waiting for, is the response. And I have to drop myself down to be able to check that out. And I say, yeah, my body is digging it so far. So that would be a thing I would spend more time with. Now, on the other hand, sometimes people will put it in a place that seems like it's going to feel good, like, oh, my head feels so much pressure, or right here, or something. And somehow an association will come up, and a trauma response could get triggered. So that's why there is no one right fit for anybody. And if that happens, just move it right away. And you can get up, walk around, talk to someone, chit chat kind of thing, and it should recede back. And so that's the challenge with experimenting, is sometimes you find something you weren't expecting. But let's go for some other things. So after you try the weighted object, let's say one that I used to do in the office for you a lot of times was the squeezing for 7 seconds on the extremities, so arms and legs, wherever you can reach. And so I'm just going to start at my wrist here. And the mistake that people will make are usually two things. One is they use their fingertips, and then you're kind of digging in, and it doesn't feel so great. So you want to try to get as much coverage of your area as possible with an even squeeze. And you want to hold it for 7 seconds. And then you're going to move on to the next spot and just go all the way up. Now it's a lot easier if you're not holding it up for the camera like I am. You're just going to let your arm rest somewhere and then try this. And then you can keep going up your arms and legs. And then afterwards, it's always about the afterward part, to see what impact it had. Did it help your muscles relax? Do you feel kind of restless now? So you just know what to expect from the tool that you have to see if it's the right fit for the moment. And it is really nice if you are sheltering with somebody who can do an exchange. And if you're going to do it with a person, you have two hands available instead of just the one, then you want to try to wrap your hand all the way around and give that gentle squeeze. So I remember the kids liked it, and I would say, oh, we forgot to do your squeezies, and they'd get all excited. So try that with your kids if you have them around. The other one is supportive self-touch, two ways. Okay, so the first one is kind of similar to the last two things, really, is just finding a spot on your body that would like some contact, and just using your hands. So you can warm them first if you like. And one of the places I think that a lot of us are struggling is here, because of a lot of forward gaze of phones and things like that maybe we're doing more of. So you can try putting your hands just above your forehead, and then it's kind of an in and down. So like you're kind of sliding your eyebrows down toward your lower lashes. It's just a little. So if it feels heavy or kind of not good, then try lightening it up a little bit and see if you can find it. And then you can also say, well, you know what, I actually like it if my fingers cover my eyes, because then I can put just a tiny bit of pressure on my eyes, which might feel good. Again, might feel horrible. It's up to your system to decide. Another one that's really common is holding your thumbs. Believe it or not, you might not have ever noticed, but now that I've said, you might notice that when people are stressed, they tuck their thumb in. And that's kind of an old developmental pattern. So we can do this mindfully. You can do it just like that. Or you can have your hands in your lap and just squeeze your thumb. And usually the brain gets the idea within 7 seconds, maybe 20 seconds if it's still feeling good. And just see if you can notice when it feels like it's time to stop. That's the best indicator right there. It's just, I feel done. And obviously some of these things you can do absolutely anywhere. If you ventured out into the world and you are all masked up and have your gloves on, you can still do this while you're waiting in line at the grocery store. So anywhere at all. The next one is a really nice one that combines breathing. So if breathing is a trigger for you, you might want to stay away from this. But it's just laying a hand on your chest and on your belly. So I'll come up a little bit here so you can see. And we're just going to follow, just noticing that your body moves when you breathe. And so you're not actually trying to do a different thing with your breath. And you can also notice that your hands have a temperature. And you can notice that the temperature, you can feel it in your hands, and you might also feel that temperature starting to get transferred to your body. So what do you do with that? Like, part of it is that just that you're slowing down enough that your body might enjoy that. Again, it could go a different way and you could feel fidgety or agitated. So just leave that one behind. Another comforting place to hold is your foot, especially around the arch. So I won't lift my foot up all the way, but you can kind of get a sense of like just putting your hand right into the arch and just giving it a nice squeeze. And, you know, you could also just go to different spots on your foot. And then just as a bonus, you can do a little tapping with your feet to help with a sense of grounding. So why don't you give that a try now, and I'll wait. Just see how it is. And then again, noticing the impact of what you did, right? So it's how does it feel during, how does it feel after, so that you understand kind of what results you're looking for. Okay, so here's some things to get started with. You don't have to do this like a routine unless it helps, but I'm hoping that you can continue to expand your toolkit, and until we meet again.